How's it, guys? Yeah, it's been a crazy past couple of years. Um, I've haven't posted much and whatnot on the YouTube, but I've been doing little projects like this. Hopefully, I'll share them. The main one I'm going to talk about is this one in this video, uh, which is just a little radio that talks through the internet. That can have an AM transmitter and can talk to aircraft and whatnot. But there's a whole bunch of other projects I've done. Each one of these little boards is a little project. I've got different radar sensors I was working on, different sensors just for gates, for read sensors, like little RF receivers, then all the way to like business cards and things. So LoRa stuff, there's been a hell of a lot. Other radar sensors, like ones that you can hide in walls and things, little digifoxes. So there's quite a lot of stuff, remotes, but again, the main one is this little all-star node, but I'm using this as a prop for the video. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I'll see if I have time. Unfortunately, life just gets in the way. That's just the way things are. But there's a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, at the moment I'm going to talk about this little node here. So how's it, guys? All right, I just cleaned up the table a bit. So I've just got the nodes here. So that's a node that I put together, soldered it. You can see all the test points and whatnot. Again, it's a prototype, so yeah. All right, so this is how the board looks from the other side. So again, that's the front side that you can see there. Now we're looking at it from the back side. All right, cool. So we've got a place for our Raspberry Pi. Our Raspberry Pi sits on top here. We've got our charging circuitry for a lithium polymer battery. We've got a power supply here that powers the Pi and powers the radio and these other chips, the USB-C chip, USB sound chip, and the transceiver for UART to TTL. So we've got all of that. I've got the radio module sitting here, so it's a bit away from all of the noise generated in this area. You know, it's on this corner. And then we've got some discrete filtering here for different frequencies. So again, this can work on ham, UHF and VHF frequencies, but of course for the AM frequency, the ham VHF tuning that can be done here will be perfectly fine. So that's just a quick teardown. There's a lot of other stuff that I've done here, but I'm not going to go through that now. This is just a quick 1 minute 15 seconds hopefully.
Okay, so this is the scenario. So you're walking into your area that you've created here. You've got your drone, you've got your equipment. So you put your drone down, you've got your node here. That's what you're going to use to talk to the other aircraft and whatnot through the internet and to other drone pilots that are in remote locations. So they'll have something similar to this in their area and whatnot. So you'll have that. Then you'll have your airband radio that will talk to that, because everything is airband, it's not VHF. And then you have your VHF radio here to talk to maybe your observer or something. And then you've got your internet router. So in this case, I've got this little MiFi thing. So this talks to the node. So I'm going to put it next to the node here. And then this is just to talk to the observer and whatnot. But in this case, because we're using ham radio equipment, I'm going to use this. So if I key it up, test 1 2, test 1 2. Just wait for. That's what other pilots would hear, and other people using AM airband radio. In this case, we're using VHF because again, ham radio, and we don't want to broadcast AM radio all over the place for now. So I'm just going to put it down so you can view all this stuff. And of course, you can have a headset. So I don't know if you're getting that. Yeah. Then you have your headset just because you want hands-free operation. And in this case, I got affordable little Chinese AM radio, but I'm not going to transmit, but I'll just switch it on. And it just shows you how readily available these AM radios and headsets and things are. So the drone pilot doesn't have to spend a lot of money to get started. So I think it's quite a nice little thing. So I'm just going to put this on just to show how it would look. So I'm not going to transmit. Okay, so it's got a Kenwood connector. Put that on. And you connect it here. You can have any other, like ICOM or YESO or whatever. But in this case, just using this QIT, and then you would talk. You could have this hanging somewhere or whatever. But again, this is just me playing out the scenario. Right, so I'm going to take this off for now. Switch the radio off. Okay, and then you'll take your drone, sets up everything. And it's always good to have like a little spot like this if you point down here. So in this case, it's a nice little cemented area. So it would be something like that. Always put the remote on first. And again, I am licensed and whatnot just in case, but this is just for fun. So even if I wasn't, it would be fine. Switch that thing on. So that would be the scenario. Everything's set up. Then you set your drone up after you've ensured everything's set up, you've spoken to everyone, and then you make your radio calls. So a drone guy would be like this. Maybe you'll just hook this thing on here or whatever you want it to be, standing perpendicular. Your antenna basically, because everyone else's would be. And then you'll take off. So make a radio call. So, Durban special rules, whatever. Just using that as an example, but for now we're somewhere in the Midlands, and then you can just take off. In this case, I'll just start my recording. Got all the GPS locations. Like that. Don't know if you get him, a little dog. Anyway, so something like that. So it's, I think it's pretty cool. And then you can take the drone to land. Just landed, and hopefully the dog doesn't eat it. So something like that, but of course you'll be using your professional drones and whatnot. I'm just using this little drone I'm using for practice and whatnot, but yeah. To talk through the hotspot, through the internet to my dad, and it passes the analog signal. So that's what you would want your AM radio to do, pass that analog signal from the AM radio. So if there was an airband radio on here and there was other aircraft that perhaps didn't have the All-Star link connected, or the the business version of that, there's a whole bunch of other things you need, business licenses and whatnot, but I'm just saying All-Star link because I'm using the ham version for this testing. But those aircraft will hear, and they don't need internet as long as this signal can reach them from the hotspot. So from my radio, as a drone pilot or whatever, in this case I'm doing it drone pilot style, so from the drone pilot on the ground, talks to that hotspot. Could be on a hill, could be on the floor like where I am now, and then you can communicate. So I hope that's all correct. That's from what I understood from when we were talking. So let me give my dad a call. So yeah, there I've got him, All-Star link, so I'm going to give him a call. Stand here. Zulu Romeo 5 Charlie Alpha Tango, this is Zulu Romeo 5 Charlie Alpha calling. Let me know if you're receiving me.
Right, there's our 5CAT receiving, coming through loud and clear there. Cal, back to you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just doing a little test here in the bush. Hopefully it's sounding quite good, and from what you said, yeah, sounding good. So it's going from the radio to the All-Star node, from the All-Star node to the internet, from the internet to the sky, and then back to you in the reverse order. So it's sounding good. Thanks for the test call, yeah?
Yeah, no, it was excellent. Excellent fidelity, nice clear tone, no distortion, no interference, no hum on the signal, as sometimes you get with some of these devices. Nice, crisp, clear, good conversation. Yeah, I couldn't be happier. Back to you, 05CAT, 05CA.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm getting a bit of hum and whatnot, but I think that's because of the setup in the house with the antennas and everything being inside. But it sounds perfect. It's readable. If I was flying a drone here and you were flying an aircraft and I was talking to you, I think I would be able to communicate reasonably well. The latency is not too bad. It's not like a cell phone, you know, again it's not duplex and that, but just like normal radio style. I think it will be very intuitive to other people that are flying drones that are used to using an AM radio and talking to other aircrafts.
Zero 5 Charlie Alpha Tango returning. Yeah, Cal, it looks like it's doing well. Your prototype is working extremely well, so you've got all that sorted out, and you just need to tweak it. And as you said, you've got other things you wanted to consider for your next.
Don't know if you can see the
I'm
push to
happy
talk
with
light there.
what it's doing now, and yeah, I've got no complaints. Back to you.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I just picked it up now as you were talking. As I touched it, I did hear a little bit of interference and whatnot, but it didn't cut out or anything. So I'm pretty happy with this prototype. The features are working, and it seems, you know, to be a pretty good deal. I would just like to, you know, make something that would be commercially available. But yeah, I think it's been a success so far.
Yeah, I think it's proof of concept is done, and it does what you want it to do, so that's perfect. Okay, I'll sign, but I'll be standing by on the frequency in case you want to chat later. Yeah, back to you. 05 TH signing. That's it.
Cool, yeah, just doing a test here, and yeah, it seems to be good. So thanks for talking. Zulu Romeo Charlie Alpha Tango, Zulu Romeo 5 Charlie Alpha out. Alright, cool. Just a little test. I don't have a cool, you know, GoPro thing. I've just got an action cam. You know, just in a bit of an open space. So if I was flying, I would, you know, fly in this area. Nice and open here. Like you could pretend there was crops and whatnot. But yeah, it's a bit of a, they've burnt here, and it's not so lacquer. But yeah, so I thought I'd just do a little bit of this as a real world example. And yeah, it seems to be successful. So I'd like to do some more testing, but I think it's a pretty cool thing. It's working, and that's the thing, you never know for sure until you actually make the board. And you know, I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I have, but you know, actually doing it properly and testing it, and you know, talking to other people and whatnot is quite helpful. So yeah, for version 1 prototype, I mean, everything's worked. There might be a few things I'll change just to make it more robust, but I mean, basically as it is, I can give it to you for testing. Again, we're going to use these two handheld radios that use maybe VHF or UHF free-to-air frequencies, so you won't get into trouble, because if you're not a ham or whatnot, you know. And then I'll set this up to use the free-to-air frequency, and maybe give you one of these radios, and then we can do some testing. But it's nothing too crazy. It will just be, you know, testing it working, testing it with different routers. Like in this case, I'm using this little TP MiFi thing, but I did have to do some settings, some changes with IP address and whatnot through the internet. So there's a lot of stuff to do to set them up, but it's possible, it works. And I don't know what DJI and them are doing nowadays, if they've you know, made a portable unit that works nicely like this. And if they have, that's fine. But this is just to show that it's possible to make this, and I enjoyed doing it. I mean, it's adding to my skills and whatnot, so it was quite fun. So hopefully this thing is not too wobbly, but yeah, back to you. I need to do some other tests, and then I'll see how it goes. So yeah, cool, cheers.